Good evening. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Come on in. Welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. I am Juju. I am your host, and I'm coming to you live, guys, this evening from my kitchen. We have a very um, important discussion tonight. And we have a very special guest who's going to be with us. So, you guys come on in and join us. Come on in and join us. I'm so excited. We didn't have an opportunity to be with you on last week. So, I'm so super excited to have you have an opportunity to share with you this week. So come on in, guys. Let me know that you're on the air with me when you come in. And so when you come in, just let me know that you're here. Give me a hello, give me a thumbs up. And also, if you don't mind doing me a big old favor and like and share the video, like and share the video, tag a friend. Alrighty, and Miss Beverly Adcock, when you come in, make sure that you're logging in on your cellular device, your cell phone, and that you don't have any tablets or computers up, and then just um, down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see something like a person and then a person inside a box. Um, and just push on click on that icon, and that'll be you asking to join. So, okay, so just let us know when you're on the air. And guys, let me know when you're in. Give me a hello. Let me know that you are there. Welcome, welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. I'm so excited to have each of you here with us this week. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, I see you down there, Miss Adcock. So we're going to let you in and invite you in here. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am wonderful. Give me
That
2 seconds. I'm trying to get this TV going.
okay. All right. And it's just great to have you. While you're working on that, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Um, um, Welcome to Let's Talk. I This week's edition, I am your host. I am Juju, and I'm coming to you live this evening from my kitchen. Let's Talk is produced by my dear friend and brother, Mr. Jerry Jackson. Thank you, Mr. Jackson, for all that you do. There's so much for us to talk about here on Let's Talk, but we do want to remind you that this is not intended to be a news show. Um, that we will steer clear of things that we know are not true, and steer clear of gossip. Okay, it is our sincere hope that you feel comfortable here, sharing your opinions, asking your questions. This is intended to be an open and an honest discussion. So thank you. All that being said, let's talk. And tonight, guys, our show is focused on a very important topic, one which probably impacts all of us. Oh, I lost Miss Adcock. I guess she'll come back. But anyway, tonight's show focuses on a very important topic, one which impacts each of us directly or indirectly. We're talking about substance abuse, we're talking about addiction, and we're talking about recovery. So, according to statistics, approximately 48.5 million Americans suffer from alcohol and drug use disorders each year. And so tonight we're going to discuss substance abuse, the impact that abuse has on the loved ones, how to approach a loved one who is dealing with substance abuse, seeking help, and recovering. Our special guest tonight is certified recovery support specialist, Miss Beverly Adcock. And Beverly is going to share her story of addiction and recovery with us and offer support to anyone who themselves may be suffering from substance abuse, or perhaps have a loved one who is maybe suffering. If you have any questions or comments, please post them in the chat. We do want to give anyone who has questions an opportunity to ask those questions. Okay, and so um anyway, so let me see if I can get you. I don't know. Okay. All right, so we do want to ask our icebreaker. And our icebreaker question is welcome back. Our icebreaker question is there anyone in the audience who is currently dealing with substance abuse disorder, or have dealt with it, or you have a loved one that is dealing with it, or perhaps you or your loved one is in the recovery process. But anyway, so while we're waiting on our audience to respond to our icebreaker question, we'll go ahead and ask you, Miss Beverly Adcock. This is our guest, Miss Beverly Adcock, and she is she is a specialist, a certified recovery support specialist. And so, give us a little background on your credentials and yourself, Miss Adcock.
Okay, so I have 4 years clean come this December 23rd. In order to be a certified recovery support specialist, you have to have 2 years in proven recovery. And then you take a course through ADMH and become certified, because the best person to help me was somebody who had already been there.
Okay.
I didn't want to listen to clinicians because they didn't know. They didn't know
Okay.
what I had to go home to.
Okay.
They
Okay.
couldn't help me. So, there was a need seen in Alabama about 10 years ago for CRSS workers. And they had started by putting people who had graduated programs in roles in those programs. And they saw what was working and what wasn't. So they started this program. And today, through my lived experience, I can be a 6-time convicted felon and hold a good job. My
Okay.
background doesn't define me today, because my background allows me to help others find their pathway and see that
Okay.
there's hope today.
Okay. Okay. All righty. And so you are you deal with peer counseling. Is that's what
I do one-on-one peer support counseling, family peer support, peer-led support groups. In my most recent position, I was transporting to and from treatment, holding your hand while you find your pathway. If this treatment center isn't okay, it's fine. You can call me and tell me, hey, I don't like this place, and we can find you somewhere else. That one person that you have to call with whatever you have going on, because they've already been there and they can tell you what they did to get through it.
mm-hmm.
Um, Whether
Mm-hmm.
that be helping you find a job, helping you have a ride to treatment, out
Mm-hmm.
in the community, teaching the community about resources and how to help their loved ones, about
Okay.
Narcan, about the
Okay.
dangers of fentanyl in our schools, our high schools, and our colleges.
Okay.
Um, peer support, there's so many different aspects of it, and you can, if you're in recovery, you can find your passion somewhere. Like being in the treatment center setting, it's not really for me. I'm not a behind the desk person, even though I love the peer support group part of it, where I'm
Mm-hmm.
active with the people that are needing the support. The rest of it's not for me. I like being more out in the community, educating and advocating in the courtrooms or with the probation officers or whatever it takes to help you instead of falling into the system, going back to prison, or even
Mm-hmm.
catching charges. If I can catch you before you catch charges and get you in treatment, that's even better.
Okay. Okay. And so one thing that you said was very interesting to me because I know, we're talking, focusing mainly on substance abuse, but different people have different issues, and some things are similar even though they're different. I had a young lady I was talking to who was dealing with basically chronic homelessness, and um I was talking to her, and I was talking about, because of course you're anxious, you're upset, you have anxiety, all of this going on because of the chronic homelessness. And I was talking about her talking to a counselor, and she said she didn't want to talk to a regular counselor. She wanted to talk to a counselor at a homeless shelter because the other counselors didn't know what she was going through. They
Right.
didn't, they couldn't understand, they couldn't relate to her in that experience. So that is the same thing that you felt when you were trying to deal with your addiction. So
Yes.
if you feel like somebody can really empathize with you, so that okay,
And
all
that's why
righty
you're
then.
seeing a lot of places like Oxford House,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of peer ran facilities where you have programs that are ran by people who are in recovery
Mm-hmm.
because they knew what worked for them. And so they opened up something to help.
Okay.
Um, Oxford houses all across the country today.
Mm-hmm.
We are blessed to have them in Lee County. We actually have a
Mm-hmm.
women's and children's home here in Lee County. We have men's homes here. And what they do, and that's just enough accountability once you graduate a program and you've learned everything, but you're still not ready to be in that house by yourself with all that
Okay.
freedom.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Oxford House gives you that accountability to
Okay.
have roommate, and it's just a roommate situation where you have a house full of women who are learning to live life again together. But
Okay.
there's not somebody over you telling you what to do. You're expected to know at this point.
Okay. Okay. So, like your company that you work with, Peer and Oxford House, those are all, everyone who's involved with that is in recovery.
Yes, ma'am. Here, I'm actually on a sabbatical from work right
Okay.
now.
Okay. Okay.
Here is a completely peer-led company. Everybody there
Okay.
is in recovery, and almost the entire board is in recovery.
Okay.
They are an amazing program, and what they have and are working towards are community resource centers, which are buildings. They have three of them so far in South Alabama where you can go for support, support groups, a computer lab, a place to just hang out and have good, sober fun, AA
Okay.
meetings, NA meetings, celebrate recovery meetings, all the different things that you could need in recovery. You have this building to go to where they're at and you can find them. Um,
Okay.
in North
Okay.
Alabama, you have Ross, Recovery Organization of Support Specialists, and they have a lot of buildings the same as well. And a couple of their buildings actually have places for the homeless to take a shower and things of that
Okay.
nature, wash their
Okay.
clothes, things like
Okay.
that. Um, they also have veteran support groups in these buildings. The buildings are open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And we need one so bad in Lee County. Pier is working towards that in a few years, they said. It's just, it takes so much to open each building that it
Right.
takes a while. Ross has 7 buildings in North Alabama. And then
Okay.
there are a couple of individuals who have put in the work and opened one in their community, like the Recovery Den in Walker County.
Okay.
And
All
then,
right then. Okay. All right then. So, um, we're talking about the recovery process, but let us start from the beginning. Okay. So, what exactly is addiction? Can you just can you define that for us?
well, addiction it's actually a mental health disease, according to the Department of Mental Health. Um,
Okay.
you don't wake up and say, "Hey, I want to go be an addict." Like, we're all
Mm-hmm.
predispositioned. We are or we aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are
Okay, so
some
you
people,
feel like there are some people who are more apt to be addicted to things.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Um, there's a lot of proven psychological studies and scientific studies to show that addiction is a mental health disease.
Okay.
Things in your brain are triggered that would not normally be triggered in other people. Um, you have people who, yes, they go out here and they get high and they get in a little bit of trouble, but they don't have to go to rehab. They don't have to go to prison. They get their life together the minute they realize that might take them somewhere they don't want to go. Or they can go out here and have a couple of drinks on the weekend with a friend and not think twice about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are those people who, from the very moment, like me, that they took that first drink or that first whatever, something was different and they felt like they belonged. They felt like they mattered. It's hard to describe, but I felt like here I am. I can live life if I have this every day.
Okay. 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 And I know that we're talking about substance abuse and alcoholism, but I do want to just state that I do know that there are other addictions other than
Yes.
substance abuse and alcoholism. There are people who are addicted to gambling. There are people who may be addicted to pornography or even sex addictions, or there are people who are addicted to things like shopping
And
and
see,
the
those addictions trigger that same chemical in your brain that
mhm,
the substance use does. Because
mhm,
I've seen people who, not a single drug in the needle, just the water, but they got the high off of the actual shooting up of it, I guess you would say.
oh
Um,
really?
yes.
Okay.
So, like, there's a mental addiction that comes with it, as well as a physical addiction. Um, and that you get that same chemical release, that dopamine, serotonin, all of that goes
Mhm,
flying out.
mhm,
Because when I was in rehab, I replaced drugs with shopping in the beginning.
right,
I
right,
constantly had packages coming in. I had to
mhm,
I had to step back and learn something different, delete shopping apps, all of those things, because it's so easy to replace one addiction with
with
another.
another one. Okay, okay, all right then. So, do you know? I was looking at how young people are when they start drinking and doing drugs. How old were you? Because your first addiction was alcohol, correct?
Yes, ma'am. And you got to remember, I was born in a time when it was okay for you to go to the fridge and get your daddy's beer out and take a swig. You know what I mean?
Mhm, mhm.
And so, God, I started drinking at a really young age.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
remember being at my parents' wedding reception, drinking everybody's beer, and it was funny and cute.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
And I craved that alcohol my whole life.
Really? Okay. Okay.
Yes. I
So,
sought out the alcohol in my parents' cabinets, refrigerators. I would steal it. And then I had friends that were old enough to buy it, and I had a car. But God is all I'm going to say, because I drove these Opelika roads, back roads, way too many nights when I shouldn't have been.
Okay, when you were intoxicated. Okay. So, was there a family history of addiction in your family?
Yes.
Okay.
Alcoholism, um, substance use, all of it ran in my family.
Okay.
My grandfather died from alcoholism. My
Okay.
biological father died from alcoholism.
Okay. So is there a genetic composition or a genetic
Yes.
component of the addiction? There is a genetic component. So if you have someone in your family who is an addict or addicted to something, then you're more likely to be predisposed to addiction.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Um, so let me ask you this, okay? And so when did you realize that you were addicted? Because I know
Um,
you said that you went from alcohol, and then when alcohol stopped doing the job for you, then you, I guess, graduated to meth.
I was 30 when I started doing meth. I was 30, 31, right in there.
Okay.
And I knew I didn't know I was addicted, but I quickly learned. And I kept thinking, oh, well, I can do it this way, or I can control it and do it that way. But I couldn't. Or I can drink and not do, no,
Okay.
no. I
Okay.
cannot go get that bottle every night. But see, I didn't know I was an alcoholic
You
until
didn't
I
know
was
you
in
were
my
an
40s.
alcoholic. Okay.
I was 40 years old when I learned that in an AA meeting with about 4.5 months sober. And I said, oh, wait, that
Okay.
sounds like me.
So you knew you
And it,
had a problem with the drugs before you knew
yes,
you had a problem with alcohol, and you've been drinking a
yes.
long time. Well, that is really interesting. So you just
Um,
thought alcohol was just something that was
growing
people
up
drinking.
around, growing up the way I did with the football and growing up on campus, and, I thought everybody had a keg on their front porch when they were in college. I thought that was normal.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in life, I learned that it wasn't.
Oh, okay. 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 So, tell me this. I know that being dealing with someone, because I of course, I think everyone has had someone in their life, even if they're not super close, but someone in their sphere who has struggled with alcoholism or drug abuse. So tell me, how did your alcoholism, your substance abuse impact your family?
Um, I have two teenage children
Mhm.
that I gave up for adoption when they were 6 and 7,
Oh, okay.
before the substance use started, because I didn't think I could take care of them, and give them the life that I thought that somebody else could.
Okay.
I had been in a really rough marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought I was doing the right thing for my children. Um, I feel like if I wouldn't have been drinking, I wouldn't have made those choices.
Okay.
And then I put my whole family through the ringer, having to worry if I was dead or alive. Some of my best friends had to put me at a distance because they couldn't sit and continue to watch me flush my life down the toilet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, I had some really good friends that no matter how far down I went, they stood right there and made sure that I never was homeless or hungry.
Okay.
And the day I made the phone call and said, hey, I'm ready, I want something different, they had me a bed in a rehab.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Um,
I
my
see. I guess.
relationship with,
Go ahead.
go ahead. My
Uh,
relationship with my mother is just amazing today. And I wouldn't have none of these things. I wouldn't have my son that's over here won't be quiet if it wasn't for everything I went through, though.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, okay. And I see your friend Bonnie Ruckus says she's proud of you. And Belinda Hill said, I'm so proud of my friend Beverly. I love you. So
Yes.
those are
Bunny is one of those that had to put me at a distance because she loved me so much.
okay. 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 And so, as much as your family and friends may have wanted recovery for you and rehabilitation, you had to want it for yourself.
Yes. I had been to rehab 4 or 5 times, and
Okay.
every time I picked up a little something more, and each time I stayed a little bit longer, but it was never long enough to pick up enough to
Okay.
come home and actually have a life. This last time, I went to a 12-month AA based program
Mm-hmm.
that was very strict, no phone, barely any passes home. You, you were always at work or in AA. That was
Okay.
it. Um, and then I went from there to a more lenient 12-month faith based program.
Okay.
And through those two programs, I learned how to live life on life's terms, how to have a checking account, how to have credit,
Okay.
how to manage life, when it lifes.
All right. 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 Okay. So that was what I was going to ask you. How many times did you try to stop using substances and abusing substances before before December 2021?
Very, very, very many times. I was actually trying to quit when they came and arrested me.
Okay.
That's why that's actually able to be my recovery date, because the day before I had drank trying
Mm-hmm.
to just sleep the substances off. And
Mm-hmm.
so that day I was able to say, hey, y'all got me, but y'all ain't got me with nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you said that in your bio, you said that you had been convicted of felony 6 times. Were your felony convictions related to your substance abuse?
Yes, they are all six: possession of a controlled substance, or in the state of Georgia, it was possession of drug related objects, which is a felony charge over there. And that's just your average misdemeanor paraphernalia charge over here.
Oh,
But
okay.
over there, they take it real seriously. And so I did 18 months in prison in Georgia
Okay.
because I was already a 4 time convicted felon in Alabama
Okay.
and caught that set of charges. No, I was 3 time convicted felon because that
Okay.
was my fourth case. But they got me with 32 felony charges.
Oh,
So
okay.
they sent me to prison, and I was already on probation in Lee County.
Okay.
And so when I got released from prison in Georgia, Lee County was waiting on me.
Oh,
And they picked me up and brought me back. And I never made it to Tutwiler because I eat mandatory early release out of the county jail. Um, and I stayed sober for a little while, and I finished out my Alabama prison sentence, or my Alabama parole sentence.
mhm.
But before I could finish that one over there in Georgia, I done fell off in the wrong crowd again. And it didn't
Okay.
take nothing because I didn't try to change anything. I came
Okay.
right back to doing exactly what I'd been doing, the same people I'd been doing it with. I
Oh,
didn't try to do anything different when I got out of prison.
okay.
And I ended up catching distribution charges this time.
Oh, okay.
Um, and God saw fit to have me indicted on possession instead of distribution to keep me out of prison. and make way for me to have a job in Lee County and have a place to come home to in Lee County so that I can try to help spread hope here that recovery is possible.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so, when was when were you last in prison or incarcerated?
Incarcerated,
Mm-hmm.
I got transported from Lee County Jail to rehab on February 2nd of 2022 and
Okay.
have not been back to jail since.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that is great. Okay, so when you went in, you were incarcerated on. I see you said that your sobriety date is 12/23/2021. So you were arrested then.
That day.
Okay. Okay.
They
And so
came to my camper and took me away.
okay.
And it was more than anything, it was answered prayers.
Okay. Okay.
Because
So
I
that
kept
was
saying, I want something different. I want to go to rehab. But I wasn't going to go. I didn't have a car. I had a camper in my
mm-hmm.
best friend's front yard with a stack of warrants for my arrest. What was I really
Oh,
going to do?
okay. 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 All right, and so once you had that final arrest, then you were determined then that you were going to do something different.
Yes.
Okay. All righty then. So, okay. So let's talk a little bit about your life when you were abusing substances. What was your life like?
Um, it wasn't fun. In the beginning, it was, but that was when I was living at home, working, and just going and doing that on the weekends, thinking it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I eventually got that first arrest, which meant I had to move out of my grandparents' home. By the way, I'm in my 30s and I'm still never been able to live on my own. I've always had to live with somebody because I could never figure out how to pay the bills right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, it's always been rough on me because I wasn't never all the way there. I was always drunk or always high.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting kicked out of my grandmother's and having to go live in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
All them hotels that they tore down over there.
Right. Right.
I was living over there doing the most, selling
Mm-hmm.
drugs, walking to and from work at Western Sizzling. Poor Mr. Cooper put up with so much out of me. He's such an angel
Mm-hmm.
because he held on to me for 5 years through my mess.
Okay.
He kept giving me a chance after chance because he saw hope in me. You
Mm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
was one of my very first amends was Mr. Cooper.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so And my life spiraled out of control in a matter of no time. And within 6 years, I had all these cases, been to rehab all these times. And by year 9, I was done.
Mm.
I was
Mm.
done. I wanted something different. I didn't know how to get it. Finally had it.
Okay. All right. So I have a question here. I know someone who has a drinking problem, and we all know it, and can't get them to admit to it or get help. Always lying about it. Any ideas on how we can help them?
Well, until they're ready to be honest, there's not really anything you can do.
Mm.
Um, You could have come at me. My mama come at me so many times with, "I know you're getting high. I know you're." No, I'm not, Mama. No, I'm not. Until finally she come home with a cup for me to pee in.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we will lie until you find a way to bust us, and
Mm-hmm.
because that's how we are. We don't want you to know what we're doing because you're going to judge us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're going to want us to do something that we don't want to do. We're
Want
not
to do?
ready for. And until that person can see a problem in their drinking, then I can suggest leaving a helpline phone number for them to call when they are ready to admit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best suggestion I have.
So,
Maybe the loved ones of the family could go to Al-Anon and
okay.
they could help them, because their Al-Anon is a really good program for our loved ones, so that our
Mm-hmm.
loved ones can learn how to love us from that distance that they need to love us from, and not put
Okay.
expectations on us that we're not going to fulfill.
Okay. And then I also saw sometime when in my research when it was saying sometimes our loved ones your loved ones can actually be enabling
Yes.
you unintentionally, but their
Mm-hmm.
actions can enable you. So it's kind of they need to kind of step back and allow you to come to the realization that you need to do
Right.
something different on your own. Hmm.
Um, for me, my family would enable me as an alcoholic because they always had it around. They never cleaned it out of the house, none of that.
Hmm.
So it's here. It's okay to drink it. There's no problem with drinking. That's how I was raised. That's the mentality I had growing up.
Hmm.
So, like I said, I had to be 40 in rehab in an AA meeting to learn that I was an alcoholic,
Hmm.
that it wasn't just the drugs. And it's because we live in a society that makes it okay. I
To
mean,
for the drinking, they.
right. If you live in
Hmm.
Auburn, there are, I think, 17 bars in a 1 block, 2 block radius right there on campus. What's
Hmm.
that promoting to our students and our kids, that going out and getting drunk every night's okay? Because that's
Hmm.
where I learned it at, was going to school down there on campus at Auburn.
Hmm. Okay. So, what about someone who it you see them in pain, you see them crying, not necessarily asking for help, but you can see in them that they know they need the help. So what if you're engaging with someone like that?
If you know they need the help and they're not actually asking for it, you can calmly ask them in a way, hey, is there anything you need? Is there any way I can help you change how you're feeling and what you're going through? Is there
Mhm,
anything?
mhm,
Like, stress that anything word so that they understand you're really there to help. That's something I've learned. Um, I can also make sure I send you the state of Alabama helpline number for people with substance use. And there's
mhm,
also, I think it's 988
mhm,
for mental health.
mhm.
Um, I'll make sure I get those both to you.
Okay.
And then I can get you the number to peer for our local area.
Mhm.
That way, if somebody reaches out, they can contact peer and they will be assigned a peer that will help them all the way through their journey.
All righty. And audience, please feel free if you have any questions that you would like to ask Miss Adcock, please feel free and we will make sure we pose those questions to her. So tell me, what would you tell someone who is suffering from an addiction and want to get help but don't know how?
To reach out, because if you reach out to that 844 number that I'm going to send you,
Mm-hmm.
then your only excuse is I'm not ready and I don't want to, because they can do the transport, they can get you detox and treatment, and most of the services they use are free of charge to the individual. And if there is a charge, they can normally get it worked around so that the person can start their recovery. Um, if it's legal, DHR, any of that, they will also go to court and advocate with you.
Okay.
They will be your person in the courtroom that has your best interest at heart and not anybody else's, because they're not getting paid by anybody else. You're not paying them either, though. Like, what
Okay.
they do for you is free. All of this is something amazing that ADMH put together for the peer
Okay.
services programs, and it's funded by the grants and stuff through ADMH. So
Okay. 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 And so that's the Alabama Mental Health.
Alabama Department of Mental Health, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. 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 Well, okay. Well, that's great. And so, generally, if a person reaches out to that, they don't have to worry about, I don't have the money to go to rehab or anything like that.
They don't need money, clothes, a ride, because we have clothing closets at all three of our
Mhm.
buildings. So all we have to do is make a phone call and swing by and pick up a bag. Um, they help all the way around. Any
Mhm.
excuse I've ever had, like right this very moment, the only good excuse, and it ain't even a good excuse, but everybody uses it, is what to do with my dog or what to do with my cat or my
Mhm.
whatever, my animal while I go
Okay.
to treatment. Right now, that is the biggest barrier that we face is people
Okay.
won't go because they have nothing to do with their animal. But other than that, you basically just need your person willing to go once they
Willing
make
to
that phone
go.
call.
Okay. Okay. And then so and what would you tell someone's loved one who is a loved one is suffering from an addiction and that loved one doesn't want to help but won't admit, don't want the at this point. What do you tell them?
The only thing I really know to tell them is praying family members save lives, number one.
Okay.
And number two, Al Anon helps you learn how to have the healthy relationship with your family member in substance use disorder.
Okay. And Al-Anon, that's for, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Forgive me. That is for the family members of someone who may be struggling with substance abuse.
Substance abuse or alcoholism, yes.
Okay. Okay.
And it
And
is a 12-step program
it's a 12
based,
step program for the family
yes,
member.
for the
Okay.
family.
Okay. Okay. Well, that is so, and they have these group. If you call the 1-844 number, they can refer
Um,
you to an Al-Anon or no.
I don't know about if they can get you to an Al-Anon, but if you Google Al-Anon, your area, we have one here.
Okay.
The one I ended up at one time, I was looking for a women's AA meeting and ended up in an Al Anon meeting, and they were so welcoming and loving. But it was over there by the Moores Mill Shopping Center in that church.
Okay.
The old, not the newer one on the right if you're going towards Tiger Town, but I think it's called Cornerstone or something like that on the
Okay.
left.
Okay. Okay.
And I
Oh,
think it's on Tuesday nights at 7. It might be at
okay.
6.
Okay. So just go and they'll help you to know
Yes.
how to cope, how to relate, how to step back and love
Make
from a
sure you're not
distance.
being an enabler,
Enabling.
all of the
Mhm.
things.
Okay. 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 So you said and this is just a question. Um you said that you ended up your children you they were adopted, two of your kids were adopted at 6 and 7. That's a big age, so I know that
Yes.
was hard on you and hard on them as well. Do you have a relationship with them at all now?
I have a strained relationship with my 18-year-old daughter right now. Um, that's her choices, and I have to be okay with them because of
Mhm.
choices I made.
Right. Right.
I'm trying to be that mother that she needed years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and she's wanting me to just be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't just be a friend and watch my child throw her life away. So it's a strained relationship. My
Okay.
17-year-old, he will not talk to me.
Okay.
He's been told his whole life that I don't love him and that he doesn't need to get close to me because I'm just going to relapse and hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
I have to
Mm-hmm.
be okay with that today. There was a time in my life where I would have went and got high behind that.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't have to today because I know that my choices are the reason
Right.
he is making his choices.
Right. Right. And our choices do have consequences.
Right.
Um, yeah. 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 Okay. So, also, I wanted to know, um, you said you're in recovery.
Yeah.
Is anyone ever cured from an addiction, or is it just an ongoing recovery process?
I wake up every day with a daily reprieve, okay? Contingent upon my spiritual foundation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um every day I have the choice to get up and continue the amazing life I have been blessed with today,
Mm-hmm.
or allow those intrusive thoughts that tell me nobody will know, um, you'll have some energy, you'll get more done. No, all that is just them intrusive thoughts from the devil trying to bring me back to where I was.
Okay.
Um, but every day you wake up, you have it. It's all based on your spiritual, how spiritually fit you are.
So it's a constant struggle. Do you
It's not
think
a
about?
struggle. The further you get into recovery, like the
Uh-huh.
longer you have in it, the easier your days become, the more
Okay.
flowy they become.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was wondering. Is it something that you're constantly battling, or
I have days where I can be perfectly fine for a month straight, and then one small little thing can make a thought come into my head. But today, I know how to play that tape all the way through, and I know that one little somebody's not going to know today is going to lead me to prison,
okay?
because I can't just go out here and do a little toot or a line today. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
crave it every day after that.
Okay. 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 All righty then. And what else would you like to tell us about addiction and recovery?
There's a stigma around people that suffer from substance use, and it's that we can't recover and we can't change. Um, we do recover and we do change. You can't just give up on that family member who's an addict. They need to know that they are still loved. Their choices are not loved.
Mm-hmm.
And until their choices change, you have to keep them at a distance.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get sober, they'll understand that and respect it a lot more than just saying, oh, look, there's Uncle Johnny. He's a meth head. He can't come over no more. We
Mm-hmm.
can't talk to him at all. We have to shun him,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I get it. You don't want these people in your home and stuff like that because you don't know what they're going to do, but
Right.
meet them
Right.
somewhere. Hey, you want to go out to lunch? You want to go out to dinner? Feed them. Something we don't do very often is eat. So, you
Right.
know, offer us a meal. Show us that you still love us, even though you don't love our choices.
Mm-hmm.
That was a real hard thing for me, was everybody cutting me off like they did. I was like, okay, see, this just shows me y'all never loved me anyway, and
Mm-hmm.
I've used that as an excuse to get high. you
Okay.
know
Okay.
I used all those things as reasons to go get high. My mama don't love me. Oh, my best friend don't love me no more. She blocked me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was a whole excuse.
Okay.
It wasn't that she didn't love me. It was that she couldn't watch me throw my life away anymore. She done watched me flush it down the toilet 3 times.
Right. Right. Right.
So if you're struggling, reach out. There's hope. There's help. Um, I promise you, there's a better life. If you have a loved one struggling, Al-Anon, Al-Anon, Al-Anon,
Okay. Okay.
and
Okay.
prayer.
And
Lots of prayer. Praying
lots of
mamas
prayer.
save lives.
Okay. And Bonnie says that you still need to treat a person with addiction like they are human beings. And I guess that's one thing we look at the addiction and not the person.
Exactly.
Okay. And so we
And the war on drugs in the 80s
mm-hmm.
is what caused the stigma. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
um, that people can't change; they have to be locked up.
Mm-hmm.
And the media and the government gave everybody this stigma of what an addict looked like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is somebody who didn't work. They stole everything you
Right.
had and deserved to be in prison because they were violent if they didn't have their drugs. And none of that was true. Yes, people who do drugs steal, but people who don't do drugs steal too.
Right. 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 So
So you can't always say it's the addict. It's the stigma that the media and the government put on the addict.
okay. So do you think that you're talking about media and movies and whatnot? Do you think that sometimes movies and television shows may uh make not glamorous but uh present addiction as it may be a or even drug use or selling of drugs as
They
is
don't I get what you're trying to say. They don't present it as something bad. No,
right,
they
right.
glamorize it. They make it look
Glamorize it.
cool and
Mhm.
fun and okay, you know? Like, oh, look, you get all this money if you fly these airplanes over here. What was that movie called? Blow, I think, where these kids got these airplanes and was flying it across, making all this money, and they made it look glamorous. They had the
Mhm.
best life ever. They didn't show how bad it got, They didn't really glamorize the bad part of it.
Right, right. They didn't show the consequences of your action. Michael Franz says that the war on drugs was a war on poor people and people of color.
And
Okay.
that's how it started, yes. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's just a whole stigma around addiction, period. And you
Mm-hmm.
notice they don't put alcohol in that.
Okay. Okay. So
You don't see anybody out there. There's not a stigma against people who drink.
mm-hmm. But people, there are just as many people who are dealing with alcoholism as it is with other illicit and
Right.
and prescription drugs. We have to remember that as
And
well.
just because the doctor writes it for you and you get it from the doctor doesn't mean you don't have
I'm
a
not addicted to it. I was
dependency upon it.
right. I was watching the show. What this show, and it was talking about how what was oh my goodness, painkiller. How they made it sexy and they did all
Opioids.
this yeah, opioids, but they, yeah, and it was, I can't even remember which one it was, but it was one in particular how they had a campaign that they had the young, pretty girls going out to the doctor's offices, pushing it and selling it and
Yes.
promoting it. And these girls weren't doctors, had never been to medical school, didn't know any of the effect that these drugs had on people or how addictive that they were. So, and like you said, just because the doctor is prescribing it to you, don't think that it's something that you cannot be addicted to as well. Oh, so Uh, and Michael France says that alcohol is more socially
Sorry, I was trying to
acceptable.
check the time.
That's okay.
You got
And
8 minutes.
Bonnie said alcohol is everything and so easy to obtain over drugs. Alcohol is in everything and so easy to obtain over drugs. That is true, and even the wine and the beer and stuff that you can buy in stores and
And
and you can get them, and they are making them stronger and stronger with more alcohol in it.
they're selling all these things at the gas stations now, these supplements and for
Mm-hmm.
energy and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
they're putting them in all these pretty, pretty packagings. Like there's one, it's a little energy shot. It smaller than the little 5 hour energies and a real
Mm-hmm.
pretty shiny packaging to attract our children and get their
Mm-hmm.
attention.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people having to go to rehab behind $120 a day habits on these
All
things.
those things. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Somebody says that you're gonna get in trouble for vaping, but anyway, um, so
I'm a graduate setting a bad example.
anyway, so we just want to thank you so much, Beverly, for sharing with us, and uh, and if you don't mind putting those phone numbers in the chat and those
Yes, ma'am.
contact groups and things in the chat. So if there's anyone who's struggling, or if there's anyone who have any questions or want to reach out and get some help, then they'll know the numbers to call. But I thank you for being so open. I thank you for being so honest. I thank you for being willing to share your story with me and with everyone that is watching. And my prayer is that it will be a blessing to someone and will enable them to start their road to recovery. And I don't want to omit this because it's important to me. And I hear you keep saying your faith. What part did your faith play in recovery? And were you raised in the church?
Yes, ma'am. I was raised in the church.
Okay.
I've got uncles who are preachers, all the things. I never lost my faith in God. That is one
Okay.
thing I can say. I never was angry with him. That was one amends I never had to actually make,
Okay.
was to tell God I was sorry for being angry with him because I was never angry.
Mhm.
I prayed even in my addiction, and it wasn't just the 911 prayers. So I knew that if I had enough faith, I could find my way out. But I
Okay.
knew that I had to listen and actively listen to what he was telling me to do. And he was telling me, hey, you need to go to this program. This is where you're going to grow your faith. Because I was still searching for that conscious contact with my higher power that the big book talked about.
Mhm.
And I had seen some friends of mine at this program, and they were doing really amazing. So I called.
Mhm.
And the number on Google just happened to be the owner's phone number. And she doesn't answer her phone. She doesn't talk on the phone. If anybody knows her, they know she doesn't answer the phone. And she answered for me. And she said, yes, we have a bed. Come on.
Oh, okay.
And I slept on the couch for 2 weeks because I have seizures and the beds were high. So I had to
Mhm.
wait on a lower bed.
Mhm.
So I slept on a couch for 2 weeks waiting on that lower bed, but I would sleep on that couch again to have what I have today. Um,
Okay.
while I was there, I had faith that God would start working on my relationship with my teenagers, and He did.
Mhm.
He opened that door while I was there. I prayed for pictures, and I ended up getting to see them
Okay.
in person, put them in my arms, and that was something I never thought would happen.
Okay.
Um, And
So
faith
your
is,
faith played a very important part in your recovery.
yes, the
Okay.
mountains I have seen move while I was at that program. And even since I've been home from that program, I'm still very active with that program.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to see mountains move, children come home that were under no contact orders, things like
Okay.
that every day.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Beverly. And we pray that the Lord will continue to keep you and bless your relationship with your baby. And how old is your baby?
This one is 6.
Okay. Okay. And then bless your relationship with your teenagers as well. We just
Thank you.
wish you much success, and we just appreciate you. Anything I can do, you know how to get in touch with me,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we'll keep talking, and prayerfully we can there can be some doors open for more facilities and more
Yes.
assistance in this area.
Yes.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank
All right.
you.
Thank you for having me.
All righty. Bye bye.
All right. Good night.
All right. So we just want to thank Miss Beverly. She's gonna put the information in the chat, and if you know someone who's struggling with any kind of addiction, and like I said, it's more than just alcohol and drug abuse. There are many. Hello, Josie from Colorado. There are many different addictions, and the thing that I got from it, I'm always want to be a hands-on help, but sometimes you have to love people from a distance until they're ready. Um, what you can do is pray for them and still treat them like human beings, but don't enable them. All righty. So anyway, thank you so much. Next week, we will be talking finance with Mr. Troy Booth. So next week, let's talk finances, and we'll be talking finances with Mr. Troy Booth. I see Beverly has put the substance abuse helpline. Substance use helpline in the chat. So also please like and follow Ardeen Thomas on Facebook and join me Wednesday nights for Bible study. We had our first online Bible study last week. It was really great. The girls really liked it, and so we'll be doing that again. So 7 o'clock p.m. If the Lord willing, we'll be on Facebook Live having our Bible study. If you have any Mary Kay needs, contact Joyce Duchess Thomas Vinson. She's an independent Mary Kay consultant, and she will help you with all of your Mary Kay needs, all of your skincare questions. Also coming soon, Inspired Sisters, Stitches, and Sparkles will be an online store, and it will feature handcrafted items from By Juju for You as well as Joyce's jewelry. Don't forget that Opelika will be holding its citywide municipal elections on August the 26th. So make sure that you make it your business to know your candidates and then get out and make an informed vote. Don't forget to subscribe to the Divinely Guided podcast featuring Duchess Thomas and Adriel Vinson. And also, you can subscribe to Juju's Dollhouse on YouTube. It'll keep you up to date on everything that's happening with By Juju for You, as well as you can catch any editions of Let's Talk that you may have missed. By Juju for You is a proud sponsor of Hold Up the Light. Hold Up the Light is a non-profit that helps support those justice engaged or people who have been incarcerated and who are trying to enter back into society. So, um, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I have really enjoyed it. Thank you, Beverly Adcock, for your information. I am Juju. I am that mountain moving giant slayer. I am walking by faith, inspiring hope, and showing love all along the way. And until next time, guys, I want to wish you all much love and many blessings. Good night.